Hello, my dear students, how are you? I hope you are all fine, thank you so much. So this is the continuation of the analysis of the importance of being earnest by Oscar Wilde, okay? So please, you will have to open your Pathways books on page 160, okay? And we will start, or we will continue, okay? So this is the importance of being earnest. Here I'm showing you a picture of the play which was performed on in theaters, all right? Those are the characters of the play, okay? And now we will see the context. It's just a picture to show you the play which was performed on stages, okay? Fine. So let's have a look at the context of the play. As I've said, or as I said yesterday, the Victorian era. What do we mean by the Victorian era? I said that the play happened during the Victorian period. Queen, what does it mean, Victorian? It means, it refers to the Queen Victoria in England, okay? The Victorian era. The importance of being earnest humorously confronts the shallowness and hypocrisy of Victorian society. Lady Bracknell's rejection of Jack as a suitable match for Gwendolen reflects the aristocracy's emphasis on family prestige. Okay, step by step I'll explain. So this is, when we say the context of the play, this is the main idea of the play. What does it mean? I said before that the play talks about the social classification during the Victorian era. In other words, the Victorian or the England during the Victorian era, the Victorian, when we say era, it means period. During the Victorian era was suffering from what we call the social classification. It means we have the upper class, the middle class, and the poor class. So if you are not, in other words, if you are not, or if you don't belong to the upper class, you will suffer a lot. Simply, if you don't belong to the upper class society, you will suffer a lot. If you are not affluent, it means if you are not rich, you will suffer a lot. So this is it. This is simply the main idea of the play. And here I have mentioned the two characters, Lady Bracknell and Jack. Remember carefully, Lady Bracknell and Jack, because the passage which is in front of us on page 160, the dialogue was between two characters only, Lady Bracknell and Jack. Lady Bracknell's rejection of Jack as a suitable match for Gwendolen. Jack, who is a man, okay, a gentleman, wants to marry Gwendolen. Gwendolen is the daughter of Lady Bracknell. And Lady Bracknell is a very rich woman who belongs to the upper class society. But Jack also is rich, but Lady Bracknell has a doubt about his social background. That's why she refused him as a suitable match for Gwendolen. Okay, and this is what reflects the aristocracy. It's very important. The aristocracy emphasis on family prestige. It means prestige of Lady Bracknell doesn't allow her to accept Jack as a suitable match for Gwendolen. Okay, so this is simply the whole or the main idea of this play. Okay, a confrontation between social classes. Okay. Now the analysis of the passage. This is your passage, okay? It's the same passage in your class book, okay? It's a dialogue between Lady Bracknell and Jack about Gwendolen, about marrying Gwendolen. Okay, so you will have to read the passage carefully, okay, please? And then later on you will have to answer the questions above. Okay, there are comprehension questions which you have to answer. Okay, which are on page, just wait for me please, which are on page, page 161. Page 161, the next page you will have to answer what we call the response section. Okay, so this is the passage, as you can see, between Lady Bracknell and Jack. Okay, fine. Now I'm just giving you a brief explanation of this passage. As you can see, a brief explanation of this passage. So this is the end of the passage. Okay, the end is with Lady Bracknell, as you can see. Okay, that's the end of the passage. I'm giving you this short analysis. Okay, so the first part is about Lady Bracknell, who agrees to interview Jack to determine his suitability for Gwendolen, despite telling him, I feel bound to tell you that you are not down on my list of eligible young men. What does that mean? Lady Bracknell interviewed Jack. What does that mean, interviewed? She asked him many questions about his social background, about his characteristics, and so on and so forth, whether he is rich or not, whether he is a real gentleman or not, and so on and so forth. But she feels bound to tell him that he is not down on his list of eligible young men. In other words, she will not accept him. Okay. Let us see about the characters now. Jack Earnest Worthing, that's his name. Jack Earnest, who is the play's protagonist. The main character, the main protagonist, or the main character of this play is Jack himself. He is the protagonist. Jack Worthing is a seemingly responsible and respectable young man. He is a responsible and a respectable young man. In Hertfordshire, this is the place where he lives. Hertfordshire, where he has a country estate. Jack is known as Jack, that's the name. In London, he is known as Earnest. So in here, remember please, this is the background, social background of Jack. But actually, he doesn't know about this because he lost his parents when he was very young. As a baby, Jack was discovered in a handbag in the cloakroom of Victoria Station by an old man who adopted him. He was discovered when he was a baby. Jack was discovered in a handbag in the cloakroom of Victoria Station in England. He was discovered by an old man who adopted him. This old man adopted him as his son. Okay, so this is the social background about Jack. Now let us see the character of Lady Bracknell. Lady Bracknell, Gwendolen's mother. She is the mother of Gwendolen. Gwendolen, who is loved by Jack. Lady Bracknell married well. What does that mean, married well? She is very affluent. She is very rich lady. And also her husband. It means she married a very rich husband. That's why she insists that her daughter should be married by a rich man. And her primary goal in life is to see her daughter do the same. See? She has a list of eligible young men and a prepared interview she gives to potential suitors. Anyone who wants to get married with her, Gwendolen, and a gentleman, she will be, or he will be asked, or he will be interviewed by Lady Bracknell to see his social background and so on and so forth. Okay? When she gives a dinner party, she prefers her husband to eat downstairs with the servants. She is cunning, narrow-minded, authoritarian, and possibly the most quotable character in the play. She is very severe. In other words, simply, she is very severe. She is a very severe woman. Okay? That's why her relation with Jack, that's why she doesn't accept Jack as a suitable suitor for her daughter. She mainly wants a very rich man. Simply and easily, she wants a very rich man to marry her daughter Gwendolen. So this is it. That's the end of the explanation for this lesson. It's very simple explanation, and I hope you've understood it very well. You will have, as I said, you will have to refer back to the text, to the passage in the book, read it carefully, okay? Read it carefully, and answer the questions above on page 161. You will have to answer the comprehension questions on page 161. Again, please, you will have to take these notes in your notebook. This is the passage. You don't need to write, don't write the passage. You just write the first note in here, okay? The first note, please. Context of the play. Try to write this one, context of the play, okay? Till prestige. And then you will have to write the analysis of both characters, Lady Bracknell and Jack. So this is it. You will have to write this explanation about Lady Bracknell and the explanation about Jack. Also in here, Lady Bracknell again, from here. You will have to take these notes from the first part is about till here in the play, Lady Bracknell. Okay, so write them in your notebooks, please. It's very important. Okay, and if you have any question, please feel free to ask me. Okay, I will be waiting for any question. Thank you so much. As we usually do, this lesson will be you will watch this lesson on YouTube channel, Hale Private School channel on YouTube, and I will send it also on WhatsApp for you. Okay, thank you so much, and waiting for any questions, my dears. Thank you so much.